And we're live on the This Week in Real Estate podcast. Housing faces Armageddon, or does it? Homebuyers are backing out of more deals and home builder confidence is falling. New housing starts plunge while new housing costs rise. Mortgage demand fell and rates go up. And Compass is getting rid of stonks. Is the meteor about to smash into the housing market and we just don't see it? Find out on today's episode of This Week in Real Estate. Yeah! Welcome, everyone. Thank you guys for dropping by the This Week in Real Estate podcast hosted by yours truly's, the Bearded Men of Real Estate. I'm Ray. Say hi, Dan.
Hi, Dan.
And that was after 199 episodes, the first time ever that we actually did an intro of any kind. So
that's amazing.
It was audio only. For those of you who are audio listeners wondering, oh, I wonder what the visuals were behind that. No. It was straight audio because we are a podcast first. So, but thank you to everyone for joining us today. We're excited about it. Hopefully that was good. Clubhouse people, what do you think? Was that okay? Did it ruin your eardrums?
Awesome. It was nice.
Okay, good.
It was nice.
I'm glad y'all like it. It's hard so we have like 4 different audio levels that we have to adjust for the show. And it's really complicated to try to get all those down. But I figure for today, especially it being show 199, this is the day. This is the time to start it up. If you don't remember, I posted on my Instagram feed, I guess it was about 2 weeks ago. I did some I did some surveys and I said, what do you think of the show? Should we do this? Should we do that?
Yeah.
And one of the things I said was, should we do a summary of the show at the beginning of the show and then dive deep into the headlines? And it was kind of split. Some people were like, yes, some people were no. So what I think I'm going to do is Dan is writing our description every week, which is super helpful for me. And so Dan's going to send me the description and then I'm just going to record it real quick because that took probably 5 minutes. So I could just record it real fast and then we'll have like a little brief summary right at the top of the show. So you guys know exactly what we're jumping into. It saves all kinds of time so we don't have to, banter as long.
And then
much maligned.
And then in another. Oh yeah, there's the echo.
You're echoing. Wait, you got to mute yourself in Clubhouse.
Hold on, I already did that. There we go. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. So maybe in another 199 episodes, we'll actually get some video over that audio. So it'll be cool. You got something to look forward for.
We'll have like the smooth Matt LaMarche style intro. So, well, thanks. And Justin's here. Olivier's here. Olivier submitted an article for us this week, so I appreciate that. And it was actually one that I thought we had already covered a couple of weeks ago, but it was new information. It was like the same story, second verse. So it's going to be interesting.
Where is Olivier again? He's in
Canada.
Yeah, French Canada, though, right?
Well, he is French in Canada, so I guess it makes him a French. Are you literal French Canadian, Olivier?
Right. Is he?
Yeah, I'm literally French Canadian.
There you go.
I can speak in French. You look at my video, Ray. So it's French.
He did so he's in our YouTube. It's not really a YouTube group. It's actually a book club. And we're going through a YouTube book right now. And Olivier's in there. And the assignment this week was to at least shoot one video that you're going to use in the YouTube. And so he did his in French.
Now, because he could be French that moved to Canada, or he could be French Canadian from like Montreal.
French Canada.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Montreal, I believe, is the French part, right?
Yes. Yeah. Where are you from originally? Is it Montreal?
I'm from the shores of Montreal. Well, in Quebec, where we're French, there's
Quebec.
90 million people now, and about 5.5 of them live an hour away from Montreal or less. So
there you go.
Gives you an idea. We're all in the same place.
So for your geography and what's it called? Anthropology lesson for the day.
Sure.
Thank you, Olivier. Justin's also joining us in Clubhouse. He's a Canadian. What's up, Justin? Peggy's in there. Shawnee, Ron, Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno. He's in there too. So you guys can raise your hand and come up and speak about anything. I see Zachary Faust in there too. What's up, buddy? So you guys can raise your hand and comment on any of the articles that we're going to be talking about today. We do have a lot to go through, so we're probably going to get right to it pretty quickly. We also have down below, we have in the description a rundown if you're watching this on the replay, and that rundown has time codes for each of the times. We're getting really fast at inputting this now. So if you want to zoom, as soon as we're finished recording, that's going to be there. So if you want to zoom to a part of the show in which we talk about mortgage demand falling, or if you want to get more information on the Department of Education canceling $4 billion of student debt and what it might mean for all of us, then that's where to go. It's down in the comments. You'll see that. So you can surpass all of this much maligned banter.
Hold on. Something's bugging me. Can you just?
Yeah.
I got to move something. I know it's Clubhouse doesn't care, and even maybe the viewers don't. But sorry,
you can't see Dan, but he's getting up and walking away. So he's out of frame now.
I got to move. It's really bugging me. I got to move this.
He's got to move something. Oh, I see. Thanks, Dan.
Yeah, sorry. I just need to move this real quick if I can.
Some would call that a shameless plug if you move your real estate sign at the time you're live broadcasting to millions of people, but not us. It's just part of life.
Yeah, sorry. I just had to move it. It was just in my way. Sorry.
We are getting a couple of questions. So Matt Lamar said he was first again in the comments. If you're joining us on YouTube, you can comment and then we can display your comment just like we did for Matt. Melissa Mara, she's here too. She says, Matt, you're insane, because he's always first in the comments. So thanks a lot for Matt for jumping in there. Melissa Kristen, Krystan.
Melissa Kristan. I'm going to put the accent on that second name, Melissa Kristan.
I'm going to do it like on the first, like Krista. So Kristan. She said, when did you change the name? So we changed the name like almost a year ago now, right?
Yes.
It was a while back.
Yeah.
We went from Bearded Men of Real Estate to This Week in Real Estate because as I was talking to people about our show at conferences and stuff, they'd be like, what is your show? And I was like, we're the Bearded Men of Real Estate. And they're like, oh, cool. What do y'all talk about? Like beard and grooming and stuff. I'm like, no, we actually never talk about that. So now it's This Week in Real Estate, hosted by the Bearded Men of Real Estate.
Right, which is weird. I never even thought about it before. The Bearded Men of Real Estate. What do you talk about like barbershop stuff or what? No.
You talk about grooming and housing? No, not at all.
Melissa clarified. It's Melissa Kristen.
Like Kristen. We kind of like Kristan now, though.
It's got a little more flair, but it's still we just love that she's here. So we're good. Right. We'll pronounce it however you want. We're just happy that you're here.
Matt said your real estate sign looks like a rock band concert poster, which I think is the look you were going for, right?
It's exactly when Ray and I were talking about it when I was. So just a quick tidbit, I changed brokerages, so I'm back to that logo now. Anyway,
nice.
When I did this a few years ago, Ray and I were talking about it. He's like, dude, you're always wearing a rock t-shirt. Just make a rock t-shirt for a real estate sign. I'm all, duh. So
yeah, so it literally looks like a rock t-shirt.
Yeah, I made a rock t-shirt.
You know, speaking of t-shirts, Dan, you should stand up a little bit. Let everyone see your t-shirt.
Did we? Oh, this was an accident, dude.
This is a total accident. And people aren't going to believe us that this is an accident, but it is.
It totally is.
We're wearing the Listen, Learn, Love shirts. So, and I think we're going to have some more merch coming out. We've gotten several requests for merch.
Can you see that?
Yeah. That looks good. It's got a little logo. It's a black on dark heathered charcoal shirt. It says Listen, Learn, and Love, which is kind of what we're all about. So
yeah. That's our logo for the show. If you guys didn't know, we did these for a special run for charity and donated it. But
speaking of the show and charitable contributions, Dan, would you tell people what this show is actually all about?
Yeah, it's all about going 1080p, baby.
We are in 1080p today. Tell us if you notice a difference, please. We're testing it.
Yeah.
If it works, let us know.
We've kind of had this conversation for a while, but is it really worth it? So let us know if you know.
Is it really worth the extra $40 a month?
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of things that don't even carry the 1080, just so you know. Like for those of you that are thinking about upgrade, some of them are still at 720. So it depends on where we're broadcasting. Audio obviously doesn't care. Maybe the audio is better quality just because no, I doubt it.
It would tell you if you're upgrading, it would be like, because the default in StreamYard, which is what we use to go live, is 720. So we're trying out 1080. So you can really tell how horrible I look in person now. So cool. I have to start wearing makeup. Anyway, when Ray and I met here, trolling real estate groups together about 5 years ago.
That's right.
I was like, who's that guy, man? He's kind of on my same page. We kind of troll similarly. The subtle ones where you're kind of funny for us and longer funny for other people. And then they go, oh, smart trolling, I like to call it. But
that's right.
We met here about 5 years ago. I mean, maybe longer at this point. I don't know. But I'd hit on a idea for a show, which was the Bearded Man of Real Estate show now this week in real estate. Because obviously I'm a bearded man. But when I met Ray, I noticed something very interesting about him.
What did you notice, Dan?
Ray is very, very awesome when you reach out to him for help. He's absolutely the best. And I just wanted to take a second and say thank you. And anyone that's on Clubhouse or YouTube or Facebook or wherever you're watching, if Ray's helped you in any way, which is literally millions of you, just say thanks because he's awesome. He's literally the best.
Actually,
so I appreciate it.
Can't remember a time I've helped anybody, Dan. You're wrong. No.
I got him on this one.
You got it. No, I appreciate it. Thank you. That's
I just
very
want
nice.
to take a second for gratitude, dude, because you're just awesome and I appreciate it. And with all the changes that I'm going through in real estate, it was just nice, solid advice, and I appreciate the conversation. So thank you.
Little bromance going on. You know,
dude, if we could do a slow zoom right now.
I don't really.
Anyway, bromance is over. We're back to real estate. I obviously noticed he's a beautifully bearded man, but what I also noticed is that he loves giving value up front to not only his clients, but just to humans in general. So the show's about being more as an agent and also being more as a human.
Yeah, one of the ways we believe it's important for real estate agents, especially to be more, is to know what in the heck is going on. And we wanted to provide one place where you could come and get almost all of the real estate news that you would hear during the week, summarized and concise. And also, we look beyond the headlines. So we're not just going to stop at the headlines and say, the real estate market is crashing. We're going to go below that and tell you if it is actually crashing and why, and what the numbers are, what they mean, and what the historic data is. So hopefully it just is one place where you can come to this. Now, I do want to mention, if you're just joining us, like I noticed an uptick in some of the viewers on YouTube. So someone must have shared it. I appreciate you guys sharing it. But if you're joining us on YouTube, you can actually go back to the front, the very beginning of the show, which I would highly recommend today. Go to the very beginning of the show because you don't want to miss something that we included. It'll be on the podcast, which you'll appreciate there too. But if you can join right on time, if we can start right on time, if you join right on time on YouTube, then you'll hear this every single week. And then after you hear that initial part, what you can do is actually increase the play speed of your live video until it catches up to where you are today. So if some of you join the show 15 minutes late, 30 minutes late, right? You just got out of an appointment, you hop on the show, you can actually back up to the beginning of the live and increase the play speed to like 1.5 times. And eventually during the show, you'll kind of catch up. So I've been doing this a lot with my lives, and it's been a way better experience.
Yeah.
Now your chats may come in a little late, but that's fine. Sometimes we're not as timely at coming in on those chats. So you can continue to chat live as you're experiencing it in the 1.5 times dimension. That's totally fine. But it's kind of a cool, there've been several lives where I've tuned in lately where I missed like half of it. I'm like, oh no. But I figured out you can go back and then increase your speed and go.
Yeah. By the way, I was going to say that, Ron, on YouTube. He said he's heading to El Dorado, Arkansas this weekend. Any recommendations? And then he's like, and yes, I know this is a public forum. So if you guys hate the much maligned banter.
There you go. I have a couple of suggestions for you. I'll DM you for sure. That's really funny. Yes, I know it's a public forum.
He's very self-aware. I like that.
Right. It's like Google. No, I'm kidding. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. And we have several people that will drop comments in the YouTube but are listening on Clubhouse. So I think that's cool too. So, well, Dan, are you ready to get into the show?
Yeah, I'm waiting for all the LinkedIn people to jump on with us. But yeah, let's go.
Yeah, LinkedIn is here in the house. Send us a comment if you're listening there. All right, let's go. Now, for the audio listeners, or for the audio listeners, you don't know it, but that was the first time that we had recorded that whole thing. It didn't do it live, right? No.
We can fool them. They will have no idea unless they watch back later and go, "Hey, you guys,
guys." One day we're gonna have a button to play, and all that stuff will happen.
Probably not.
I mean, for being super honest, yeah. All right. So this is the one that Olivier sent. We have it. There were two articles. One was Market Watch, and one was CNBC. So let's talk about home buyers. They're backing out again. That's right. The rising costs and falling confidence in the U.S. economy are fast becoming a toxic cocktail for home buyers that are backing out of deals. So we did this story like 3 or 4 weeks ago, didn't we?
Yeah, I was going to say we've covered this, and it was like, well, yeah, I mean, that happens all the time. It's not unusual for buyers to back out.
Right, but it was a unusually high number. And that was when was that? In June?
Yeah,
there was an unusually high uptick.
Recent history.
Yeah. And so we covered it. And when Olivier sent this to me, like sometimes places like Market Watch or something will say, hey, here's some news, but it's actually not new news. But in this case, it had been published like that day. And it was new news. So this is the second month where we're seeing this. Home builder cancellation rates have more than doubled since April, according to the survey by John Burns Real Estate Consulting. That was in July, it was 17.6% of builder contracts fell through, compared with 8% in April and 7.5% in July.
So it's the same. It's still talking about new construction only.
Yeah. This one's new construction. Yeah.
Because the headline seems like, oh my gosh, really? Buyers are just canceling everything in every part of real estate? Oh, well, it's new construction.
Right. Yeah. Texas and the broader Southwest are seeing the biggest jumps in builder cancellations. 27% and 25% respectively. Isn't that interesting?
Who out there in our vast audience, who out there does a lot of new construction? I know Matt probably does. I know there's lots of stuff in the Atlanta area. I would ask Julie because she's like really good at this stuff, but we don't have her here today. So I'm going to ask Matt.
Yeah, so Matt's second best. Matt,
I love you, Matt. I'm so sorry, buddy. But yeah, who does new construction? I'd love to hear. Like, are you seeing this? Is this?
I've got some perspective on this.
Who said that? Who said that? Where is it?
It's Ron.
Ron.
Oh, hey, Ron. What's up, man?
Hey, guys. All right. So yeah, what brings me to Arkansas this weekend is actually a funeral. So that's why we're going there. But anyways, new construction. So here's what's happening. So all of these prospective buyers, they went under contract when the rates were at 3%, 4%, 2%, what have you. They have blown through all of their lock extensions, and now they're looking at paying $600 more a month. So in some cases, people can't afford it. Other cases, people can't qualify. Other cases, people just don't want to do it. So what's happened is all of these people in, especially the northern suburbs of North Texas, they've canceled their contracts, have gotten out, and now the builders have massive amounts of inventory because they were already building at a rapid clip just to keep up with the demand because so many people were on wait list. But now they have homes that are in various stages of completion that are empty. So home builders are now offering incentives. The most extreme I've seen so far is $20,000 towards closing costs in terms of a seller credit. Yeah.
So $20,000 seller credit to keep a buyer in a deal.
Well, wait.
Not to keep a buyer in a deal for new deals, right? So the ones that are already in it, they're already in it. All the negotiations already been there. But for new buyers that are paying at the higher prices, to get them to go buy, to go under contract, they're offering the $20,000.
I thought you were saying that these buyers were backing out, and then the builders were saying, no, don't back out. We'll give you a credit. But you're saying buyers are backing out. Separate story. Builders are providing incentives up to $20,000 to get a buyer to buy a house.
That's exactly right.
And then, can I ask a question?
No.
Okay.
No.
moving on then. So, I mean, up to 20 grand. So now that, Ron, that's based on like what you as a lender can give them as the credit. Like they can't promise 20 grand if that's more than you can actually give the buyer, right?
Correct. So they have to, depending on the loan, in terms of how much they're putting down and determining on what, program that they're going to go with, right? So some programs you can only put, have a 3% towards your overall credit, right? Or some are 5, some are 10, so it all depends, right? But they're giving up to $20,000 depending on, what they're able to do. But it's in the form of closing costs, right? So it's a credit towards closing costs.
Right.
But something that we're doing on our side, this actually came out of our new construction division. We are now offering a temporary buy down where we will take that portion of whatever the amount is, and we'll structure a loan for the first 2 years where we'll actually have, so our 2-1 buy down, if the base rate is 5.5, we'll make it where the first year is 3.5, the second year is 4.5, and then they go back up to 5.5.
That's almost like almost like an arm.
A reverse arm.
Well, it's kind of like something you would get at Nebraska Furniture Mart, where they say for the first 24 months there's no interest.
Yeah, right.
So
yeah.
It's a way to kind of ease in during that first couple years. But if you're the buyer, you don't care because the seller or the new home builder is the one that is covering that.
Yeah.
And the idea is that, you either understand that in year 3, your rate's going to be at 5.5 or you refi, right?
Yeah. Or you sell, which I think a lot of people are so used to now moving every 2 to 3 years again. It's going to take them a little while to warm up to the 5 to 7 year spat that we were in a little bit. Well, that's good info. Thanks for sharing that. And it also lends itself. Let me share this article real quick. I'm going to add it to our stream here. So
where is Ron, by the way, physically? Where's he work?
Dallas, Texas, and with guaranteed rates.
There you go. So this is the chart from CNBC, year-over-year change to the cancellation rate for buyers for new build homes in the U.S. You can see the jump that it's had lately from in July and then June. So this is what we covered 3-4 weeks ago, and then this is what we're covering today. Here's the breakdown for Texas, and then Southwest, Northern California, Northwest, and then national average is 18% of cancellations. And then let me go back to the housing wire. This is what Ron was talking about. Homebuyers enjoy newfound bargaining power as sellers agree to repairs, accept lower down payments, and make other concessions. So this is the article that Olivier sent me, and Housing Wire goes into exactly what's happening, which I think these are both very closely related. As there are more cancellations, there's more opportunity right now for buyers.
Well, that's what I've been saying. When for here in Southern California, the switch or the shift happened rather quickly, and it was about April 1st, April Fool's Day. But it was slowly happening before that, when rates started inching up, whenever that was, and we were like, dude, we meaning here that people I work with here, but also we on the show, we're like, dude, the shift is coming, and in my opinion, I was like, buyers are going to be king. Now, it's not going to be a buyer's market, but this stuff, going back to normal, keeping all your contingencies intact, having all, for here, us, it's 17 days for inspection and appraisal, and then 21 for the loan. So that's all going back to normal, and some negotiating power on because remember, everything's negotiable. You negotiate up front the terms and the price. And then now you can get back to, all right, well, there's a couple things wrong in the house. Do you mind buying my rate, or, closing cost credit, or fixing this or what? There's a lot more normalized, so I think the article's spot on, but I don't think it's anything to worry about.
Right. I agree. It is an increase, but I don't think it's a worrying increase, but maybe there's some worrying increases coming in the show. So stay tuned.
And also in the new construction realm, maybe it is, but I had an idea, which I don't have any original ideas ever, but I just had one. Don't snickered at that. That little, if you have, so there's a couple new construction builds around me. Now they're smaller. So, they're under 50 homes, but I'm going to go check them out, and I'm going to have these conversations with them. But if you have new construction around you, and why not go in and have these conversations? What are you guys offering right now? What are the incentives for buyers? Now take that and take yourself a little video or some pictures or the flyer of the new construction and post it to your social media. Try to get some buyers out of it.
Whenever you say take yourself a little video like that, it sounds a little, you sound ancient, actually. Why don't you take your phone and take yourself a little video?
You just hold it up like this, and then
you're tech-enabled agent.
No, that's the calendar. Don't click the calendar. Oh, dang it. The camera button. Yeah. And then if you look, what is it doing? If I put it on video.
What's it doing now?
And
All right,
then
speaking of tech enabled, we do have a couple of people that have hopped up in Clubhouse. Jessica Humphreys and Zoraya. Am I saying that right? Zoraya?
I'm going to guess Zoraya.
You're going to guess. Who's right? Go ahead. Who's right? Who's right, Zoraya?
Hey, everyone! It's Soraya over here in Houston,
Dan
Texas.
is right.
You have
Okay.
it right.
Boom.
Well, welcome to the show,
so-
Zoraya.
Zoraya.
Sorry. No, well, my name's Ray, and my name is in your name. So.
Yeah, it is.
All right. So what's happening
But,
over in Houston?
So I mainly work with new construction and mainly first-time home buyers. So it's mainly like a lot of my sales. So, but I've seen lately, I don't know, this wasn't happening about 6 months ago, a year ago, where these builders were not offering much for realtors.
Yeah.
You know, and now I'm seeing like all these bonuses, 5%.
Yeah. Hey, we need you guys again.
Yes, like we need you guys. So yeah, 10K BTSA, so much so. But I have I just negotiated 10,000 below list price.
Wow.
And that home could sell for higher in that neighborhood where I just
on a new construction.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
$10,000 below on new construction. That just shows you what builders are thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Good work.
And closing costs paid for. I have another one. They're giving her $15,000 for closing.
Wow.
So all closing paid for $15,000.
$15,000 for closing. That means Ron's getting rich. Just kidding.
I'm just getting an opportunity to get in the game.
Yeah, he finally could sell something. Oh, don't
the in-house lenders, they're offering all these big incentives.
Yeah.
But now the builders are so desperate, they're now saying, yeah, we'll bring Ron in the transaction now, right?
Yeah.
You can use your own lender to get it closed.
Yeah.
So, but what's good about that is, not just from a personal standpoint, but you have independence, right?
Yeah.
You no longer are working with the seller's lender. Like, why in the world would you do that, right? I get if you're desperate or you have to have those, that extra credit.
There's still some in our areas that are doing that. There's still some, we call them partnerships, but there's still some of that going on. But so Zoraya, are you seeing a lot of these builders that are offering the bonuses and offering special incentives and things like that? Are they continuing to build right now? Or are you seeing them kind of pause in those subdivisions and neighborhoods?
Yeah, I kind of seen both because the one I negotiated for the 15, or the one that's giving the 15,000, they are just like at the still like they're not building anymore. There's just whatever inventory they had. But I mean, there's brand new community. I just told another brand new community they're building. They're still building. So I'm seeing both. And also I did get to negotiate only 5,000, but it's something towards my client using the outside lender. So totally negotiable. I mean, we just gotta, get out there and talk to the sales rep, talk to whoever you need to. If you're going to go above the sales rep, talk to the area sales manager, because that's what I do. And
there you go.
Whatever you need to do for your client.
Well, good. Well, thanks for popping on. Is this your first time to be on the show?
First time, long time.
I think so. No, I listen in all the time, but I don't think I've spoken.
Well, thanks. Thanks for joining us. I'm glad you come on up.
Thank you.
Well, Dan, how would you feel if you were, maybe on one of those dating apps? And let's say every time someone was like, yeah, let's go on a date, and then they would cancel. And then it happened a couple more times, like right in a row. Went on a date, and then they would cancel.
Yeah.
How would that affect your confidence?
It would go below 50.
That's right. Builder confidence is also underwater after failing for the 8th consecutive month. For those of you who don't follow the conversation,
falling, not failing.
Yeah, it's falling for the.
It hasn't failed. I mean, I guess
now that it's under 50. So this is a number we've been following ever since we started the broadcast. The Home Builder Sentiment Index comes out about this time every month. And every month we look at it and say, okay, builders are, they're still okay, or nope, they're definitely feeling it. Well, in this sentiment index, 50 is considered neutral. Above 50 is positive. Below 50 is that they're losing confidence. It has been above 50 for the 4 years we've done the show.
Yeah.
And then just months ago,
almost 5 years.
5 years. Yeah. Almost
Crazy.
5 years, coming up on 5.
Yeah.
Just a couple of months ago, it was like in the 70s.
Yeah.
But builder confidence fell for the 8th straight month in August as elevated rates, interest rates, ongoing supply chain problems, and high home prices continue to exacerbate housing affordability challenges, which is one of the reasons that people like Zariah, sorry, I'm just going to butcher that now because my name is in your name. It's just one of the reasons why she's getting great deals for her clients. You know, she's recognizing this and then going to bat for them and negotiating for them.
Mm-hmm.
So it fell 6 points in August to 49, making it the first time since May of 2020 that the index fell below the break even of 50.
Oh,
now, you remember what?
So it has been below that on the show. I didn't remember that.
May of 2020.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so
when the world stopped,
literally stopped.
Yeah, that's when it went below. Ongoing growth, and actually that was 2 months after the world stopped because that's when they had major supply chains. Ongoing construction costs and high mortgage rates continue to weaken the market sentiment for single-family home builders. And the NAHB chairman, Jerry Conter, said in a home builder and developer, he's a home builder and developer from Savannah. He said a troubling sign is that consumers are now sitting in the sidelines due to higher housing costs. The August buyer traffic number in our builder survey was 32. That's the lowest since April 2014, with the exception of the spring of 2020 when the pandy first hit. So home builders, they're not a fan of anything that's going on right now. You know, I've been watching a lot of the news and I hear that the recession has now been defeated, but from some of these numbers, you would think that we're still in a housing recession. I don't know.
Defeated.
Yeah.
We stand triumphant against recession.
It's been I mean, there was a whole bill and everything. So
yeah, it's strategery.
So this information came to us actually from the NAHB. I don't know why I haven't done this in the past, but a lot of times we would have those reports from other reporters that were reporting on that report. But the NAHB releases their own statement. So it's just easier to go to the NAHB.org.
Go to the source. Yeah, we always pull from CNBC reporting on the report when we could report our own report from the report itself.
Yeah, we'll just go to so now we have an original report.
Yeah.
That's almost journalism. Almost.
You're writing a couple articles now. We're teetering on being journalists.
We're teetering on actual journalism here because I have written a couple articles for the Broke Agent Media. I've got another one coming out. This is an interesting topic, a little bit off of what we're talking about right now. Why not? Creator recession. A creator economy recession is happening. How does it affect your real estate business if you built up a business based on being a creator and using things that actual creators use in their own jobs, like people that are on Fiverr and all these, freelancers and things like that? How's a creator economy recession going to affect you? Are you still going to be able to find the help you need? So anyway, I've got this article. It's taking a little bit longer to get out because there's more research involved, but that's coming. All right. So anyway, I guess you could look at that kind of like this builder thing. It's supply and demand, right?
Yeah.
The builders are looking for more labor. They're looking for more materials. They can't get it. So their confidence is waning. Well, as creators in the real estate industry, if you're having trouble finding the help that you need, finding what you need as far as materials go, then, that's probably going to take you out of the creator game for a little bit. So there's some things that you can do to prevent that. That's what the article is about.
I'll throw it out there right now. I'm very, very adept at Photoshop. Anyone wants any Photoshop help, just send it my way. Now I'm still going to charge you, and I'm going to charge you more than Fiverr, but it's going to be legit.
Have you seen the Twitter Photoshops? And somebody's like, "Hey, can somebody remove the guy behind my friend?" And they just like do a total opposite. It's so funny.
That's exactly what I would do. So you can send it to me if you want, and it's going to be amazing, but it may not be exactly what you want, but it'll get you some headlines. So let's go. All
right. Back on this article real quick. Roughly 1 in 5, 19% of home builders in the HMI survey reported reducing prices in the past month to increase the sales or limit their cancellations. The median reduction was 5%, including incentives.
Okay, so that means the market's crashing. Everything's dropping 5%. That's a full crash, right?
Not quite. Meanwhile, 69% of builders reported that higher interest rates is the reason that housing is falling behind demand.
Yeah. So usually, and again, I don't do a lot of new construction, but usually new construction is kind of the premium price because it's brand new. No one's ever lived it. You can get lived in it. You can get all the new upgrades and features and fun stuff. But right now, that might be the best place to get a deal. It seems like.
Jeremy James says developer Ball Homes just released 100+ lots. You mean that they had 100+ lots that were kind of reserved into development, and they said, yeah, we're not going to build on those anymore. Somebody else can.
I wanted to ask that too. Like release, like gave away, sold. What do you mean by that?
Interesting. He also says that he'll report on what we report on.
Right.
Jack Adridge, he's in the Facebook comments, says, my guess is that good agents that have experience in a slower market will be able to negotiate a reduction or a deal to keep deals together. Problem is that anyone with less than 10 to 12 years experience has not witnessed a down market. I'd go a little further than that. I would say anyone that's been in the market less than 3 or 4 years is going to have some trouble coming up. They're going to have to, I'm not going to say they're not going to make it, but they're definitely going to have to change the game plan from what they have been used to.
Well, I started in 2011 and it was a weird market. It didn't figure itself out here until like 2013, but it was, I mean, you could negotiate a lot of fun stuff. So
Jeremy James said no released for sale for their builds. Okay. So they're going to be building on 100+ lots.
Oh, okay.
And they're telling everyone that they are, those are ready for them to start building on, Jeremy.
So come get your incentives.
Matt LaMarche, back on the topic that you were just talking about, Dan, agents not being ready for this. He said, what is a price reduction?
Yeah.
A price reduction is that sauce that you put on a steak. No.
Yep. Yeah, you get a nice, you can make an au jus out of it as well if you want, but it's a nice price reduction. Yeah.
I am going to do a cooking video about a wonderful tasting price reduction. And I'm going to actually make a reduction of something.
Dude, you could do the words all in the little skillet and be like, dude, that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Oh, this is good.
We make ourselves laugh.
Yeah. All right. So
wow,
this is kind of on the same.
Today. What? Cool. I have lots of new followers on Clubhouse today. Zariah, Britt Jones, Jessica Humphreys. Thanks, people. Awesome.
She's following you because you say her name right.
So she's not following you because you refuse to say it right.
No, she's following me too. She's fine.
Oh, that's
she's good. She's good. I'm glad she's here.
I'm following you, Ray.
No, you call me Rye right now.
There you go.
Ray, there you go.
Dude, let's spice your name up right here, dude. His name is now Rye Alon. Rye Alon.
Rye Alon. Ooh, yeah, that is nice.
Rye Alon.
You know how many things I dealt with growing up as a kid with the last name of Ellen? Come on.
Well, yeah, of course.
Well, more than someone should have to.
You hit what, 16 or 17, and there was Ray Allen, the basketball player.
Yeah, that famous basketball all-star. I had to battle that in Google. That was the worst place to battle that. There was one. Here's a brief aside. There was one time I made a reservation at a hotel for Ray Allen. And I showed up at the hotel and people were really excited. And I checked in and the guy said, what's your name? And I said, Ray Allen. I'm out of the back with Ray Allen gear. And they were like, oh no. They had put it in the computer. It was Ray Allen. And I told him, I was like, surely if I was Ray Allen, I would have gotten a nicer room than this. Cheapest thing with no view. Anyway, so that was several years ago. But yes, Google was the worst place I had to battle the Ray Allen versus Ray Allen. I think I've overcome it. But as many of you as possible could go click on my website. That helps.
That is so funny. Oh.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of.
Wait, hold on. Scap's got a comment.
Where? Oh, I didn't see it. Hang on.
On the YouTube's there.
They need to change their. So on the StreamYard, if those of you are looking to podcast, on the StreamYard, I can see comments or I can see the things that I have to do during the show.
Right.
Like different camera views and different things. Like I can put the logos up and there's banners and stuff.
Yeah.
But I can't see the comments and those things that I have to do during the show. So sometimes one of the reasons why we're late showing these comments is because of this. So
and it's why you will hear me point out, hey, Ray, this person commented, or I'll just read it because he's got it all going on.
So Scap says price reduction, or what I as an appraiser call unrealistic expectation therapy. My office has been busy.
It's really good.
Malarshmallow. Matt said no one was ever disappointed when I showed up to my hotel except for that one maid. It's funny. All right, so Dan.
Yeah.
Speaking of disappointment, let's keep on the topic with the builders. We got another couple of articles.
What kind of show is this? This is good today, man. I'm telling you, we are good today.
Okay. So Realtor, I got to show you guys this. The Realtor magazine website. Have y'all been there today? I'm going to display it.
Oh yeah. He sent it. So we have
it just came in my email as we were talking about this.
It's jacked up. Look at it. Oh, well, you can't see it because you're on Clubhouse. If you go to the website, magazine.realtor, the whole thing is jacked up. So we have a couple of sources. So we're gonna go down here, but today it was even worse. Like earlier today, it was all these links and everything that are up here were just all displayed in a text Word document.
Dude, it looks like when I used to create websites in the late 90s for a laser disc store. Like this, it looked all like field. You could see the different fields and yeah.
So anyway, builders concerned about sudden pullback in the new home market. This is kind of on the same topic that we've been talking about a little bit, but it's another angle, and Lauren Chune has some words. I think he does have some words in here. Maybe it's not this one, it's the next one. Builders say more buyers are backing out of sales contracts for new homes as traffic fizzles, causing home builder confidence to drop for the 8th straight month, which we've already talked about. Is there any hope on the horizon? This is the part I wanted to pull out of this. Lauren Chune, he's the chief economist for the National Association of Realtors. And he said the persistent housing shortage should keep buyer demand elevated in all real estate sectors over the long haul. Quote, home builders are naturally very cautious about rising unsold inventory during the construction phase, Yoon says. Quote, but those completed homes are finding buyers within 3 months, which is relatively swift for the new home market.
There you go.
Improving conditions within the supply chain for delivery of items such as lumber and appliances will lessen overall uncertainty.
And that's
he goes
probably
on to
why.
Say that if,
sorry, it's probably why. Was it? Let me scroll up here. It was Jeremy, right? That said Ball is releasing 100. Yeah, Jeremy James. So it's probably why they're releasing them. They're feeling, yes, they're gonna give credits or they're not gonna get top dollar, but it's probably why they're like, hey, we're building, so come on in.
Well, just like there's a lot of speculation of what new agents are going to do, and agents that have been in the market less than 2 or 3 years, there's a lot of speculation of these home builders too. What are home builders going to do that have been in it longer than 2008 and 9? Because builders that have gone through all of that, I think are going to look at this with a lot of confidence and continue to build and maybe take advantage of the limited inventory while other builders are afraid. Builders who know how to cut cost wisely and maintain the quality of product. Builders that know how to move their people and subcontractors and employees around effectively and efficiently. Those builders are going to be the ones that right now have a major advantage.
And especially as lumber prices come down, it was $588 per board. How do they say it?
Per bird foot. No, I can't. Good grief.
Per board
foot. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's $588. Remember, we were during the Rona, after when everything supply chain issues, which I still think I'm a little bit of a conspiracy theorist. I say a little, but it was up to $1,600 per board square foot. Now it's at $588, which I think is pre-pandemic levels. Pre-pandy levels.
Lauren Chune said if mortgage rates remain near 5% after reaching 6% in early June, there could be renewed buyer activity and additional inventory declines. So, renewed buyer activity. There's a lot of people. You remember last week when we had the guy on the show who was on CNBC talking about predictions as to what was going to happen with builders and the builder stocks. And he was saying now is a great time to buy because those stocks are low, although he thinks that buyers are going to come back, roaring back at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I think he's right. So there's a lot of naysayers, but that's where I'm leaning. That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I am too. By the way, someone must have mentioned tiny homes, affordable housing, or something, because Christina M. Smallhorn is here.
Yeah, that's right. We were just talking about that. Christina M. Smallhorn says now if builders could make affordable housing, that would be nice.
Yeah, she's like Beetlejuice. If you say her name 3 times, if you say affordable housing or tiny homes 3 times real quick, she shows up. It's really awesome.
Jeremy James says, "Hey Christina, I'd watch your channel, but the purple hair." If you don't follow Christina on social media, you have to, because she posts her trollers and they are hilarious and misguided.
It's awesome.
So, yeah, it's awesome. I love how she deals with them. All right, make sure I got everybody. Do we have anything? Oh, we have a whole comment section popping in the clubhouse. Have you been looking? Oh, you've been interacting with it. Okay,
I've been interacting, and then Zariah, she came on. So yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
just
we're
making
good.
sure we're up to date on all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
hey
let's.
guys,
Yeah, who's this?
Jack.
it's Jack.
Oh, there he is. What's up, Jack?
How are you guys?
Jack Atteridge joining us now. He did comment on Facebook, and now he's joining us via Clubhouse. Welcome, Jack.
Yes, I am live from Boston, Massachusetts, home of Rick Allen.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Not to be confused with, but I'll
That's
leave that
right.
for another time. So this is all by Braille right now. I've been doing this. I hate starting what I've been doing this for, but I've been doing this for 35 years, and every downturn has really been driven by a financial crisis. And it's not right now. And I think what we're seeing is, demand saturation in some areas, maybe refined down to, some price ranges. And it's just again, talking about last week, I don't see a hard crash coming, but it's really, usually in a downturn, we would see vacation homes be the first thing to go. But now it's really not. I mean, now we're talking about, these new construction projects, which, I've got 20,000 people or 9,000 residences in 4.5 square miles where I am. So we don't see any new construction, but if you have so many brand new houses in one concentrated area, you're going to have demand saturation. So it's going to be just a real balancing act to try to figure out what it is. And on the other side, everybody that I'm working with and most people that I know, they all have jobs that, their day-to-day lives aren't impacted as I've seen in other corrections. So it's real, it's exciting to see the headlines of the show every week to see what the next hot button is.
That's good. It's exciting to see the headlines, to see what kind of clickbaity hot button topic is coming. That's exactly it. Well, and
Yeah.
you've been around the block and you've seen it, but there are so many people that are in the market that have never seen it, including the reporters. And so I think you have a lot of analysts and things believing that it's always the worst that it could ever be. But the history, I think Lawrence Yoon, the economist for the National Association of Realtors, he's one of those that looks way back in the history. And so when he's talking about, the historic data being, you could sell a house in 3 months as a home builder. If you go back 20 years, I mean, that's phenomenal. That's great. If you go back 8 years, that's great. So, I think those that have been through it or that either have a longer lens that they're looking back with, I think they're going to be more on stable footing. But that's part of the reason why we do the show, because you can't just let the crazy voices out there, which unfortunately are now outlets like CNBC that are covering the sensational thing that's happening because they have to get clicks for their advertisers. And if they're not sensational, they don't get the clicks. If they come out and say, hey, here's what's happening. Housing is very similar to this or that time in history when everything was okay and people were making money.
Right.
That doesn't really sell well. Right.
Right. And same with all those YouTube channels that are, they're pretty much real estate hacks, whatever we're calling them now. And they'll get 200,000-300,000 views because it's like the crash is happening now. And then nothing happens. Then like a month later, you go to the page and it's a new video saying the crash is happening now. Well, wait, why didn't it happen a month ago? And then when you watch the video and actually look up their data or actually look up the homes they're using some house that was originally priced 150 grand too high. I mean, horrible pictures. I mean, it's ridiculous. But I think that's what Ron's talking about. He blames the crisis in real estate on realtors that use fire and brimstone on their YouTube thumbnails. Canva should charge a premium.
Canva should charge a premium on fire, right, Christina?
But fire works. Christina's figured that out. Fire works for thumbnails.
Look at our thumbnail today.
Yeah, we haven't shown it yet. You got to show it.
It's literally Armageddon. Christina says, "Hey, now I'm on YouTube. I use fire." Yeah, that's true. So all right, let me play.
Am I right that crash is only a headline? I mean, do you know anybody crashing?
No, I think there's some people that don't have a good business practice that are in trouble right now. But other than that, no.
Or they're not, or home sellers aren't getting the prices they could get a year ago, but they're not crashing.
Yeah. Shani says she doesn't either. All right, so here's our thumbnail.
So good.
I'm really proud of this one because
there's some fire for you right there.
The lighting matches pretty well. So for those the audio listeners, I'll describe it. Imagine the Armageddon movie poster
with all
and
six.
I've taken the background of that movie poster and put it behind us, and then I've taken in the foreground the characters from the movie Armageddon, including Bruce Willis and was it Ben Affleck? Wasn't he in there?
I think I'm Ben Affleck.
Yeah, wait, hold on. What? Can you say that name again?
That's how you say his name. It's all one word, Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck.
It's Ben
so
Affleck.
Dan is okay. So Dan is Ben Affleck, and
I'm Ben Affleck.
Yeah. Then there's I don't know who these other actors are. I'm not good at it. There's the guy. All right.
Corbin Burnson. Well, what's his name? That's an Owen Wilson over there, and then Steve Buscemi, dude.
Buscemi. That's it. Buscemi.
Yeah, or Buscemi. I always forget.
I don't know. Anyway, so it says Armageddon at the bottom and it says housing behind us. Housing Armageddon.
Yeah.
And so what Owen Wilson. So why would we put this up?
Clickbait.
Total clickbait.
Yeah.
But at least when we do it, we're explaining why it is or isn't, right? When the other hacks that you're talking about are putting up the clickbaity stuff and they're going full bore into it, and I can't tell if they're just dumb and they don't know or don't understand, or if they are legitimately trying to persuade people that direction or do that just for the clicks.
It's just clicks. They do not care at all about the accuracy.
You think that they know that it's false and they're doing it on purpose?
I believe so. If there was 10 of these videos, which there's thousands more, but let's say there's 10, I'm going to say 8 of them, 80% of them, or 100% do not believe it's going to crash.
Christina Smallhorn, she kind of agrees with you. Some are just wanting the YouTube money.
Yeah, if you get 300,000 views, you're going to make a little bit of coin.
I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that they're just dumb. Is that giving them the benefit? Wait, which way gives them the benefit of the doubt? That they know and do it on purpose, or that they're dumb and
that they're dumb?
Which is the benefit of the doubt?
I think that they're dumb. You're just like, yeah, they just don't know.
What's weird is it's one of the two. It's like you're either dumb or you're wrong on purpose.
Right.
Both are bad.
It's a lose-lose.
It's a lose-lose. All right. So let me go back to this article. I want to show. Let me get this back on screen here. All right. Have we even covered this one yet? Housing starts? No, we haven't. All right. Hang on. Hang on. This is the housing starts. It's another bit here. All right. Housing starts. So with all this confidence, everything we're talking about, builders' confidence, everything that's going on in the market, you would assume that they're going to pause on the building, which is why I asked that question to Raya earlier. It said, this article is on Inman. It says the whole housing sector is now in retreat, quote unquote. Home builders have entered into a weakening slate of new construction projects this summer amid the decline in sales and the general pessimism that links back to the article that we talked about earlier. So this is the interesting part. Newly started single-family home projects fell from a seasonally adjusted rate higher than 1 million in June to just over 900,000 in July, according to the new home numbers from the Department of U.S. Housing and Urban Development. That's a 10% drop in the steepest so far this year and continues a sudden, steady downturn that has seen the rate of the new single-family housing starts plummet by more than 20% since January. Now, I remember, like, beginning of prior to the pandy, housing starts were up 13% that December.
Yeah.
And now it's down 20% compared year over year. From
Year
the sales
over year,
perspective, things are likely to get worse. This is a quote from Shepherdson. He's the Ian Shepherdson is a chief economist and research firm Pantheon Macroeconomics. He said the downward trend in construction activity will continue for some time yet, given that it lags sales, which lag mortgage applications, which are down 30% from their December peak. And still
lags this, but this also lags
this, which that, yeah. Home builders are naturally very cautious about rising unsold inventory during the new construction phase. Oh, we've already read that quote from Lord June.
Yeah.
While builders may respond to the decline in affordability and cooling demand in the purchase market by building fewer single-family homes, it's possible that they will continue to build more rentals, said Kushi. Renters remain elevated, which may incentivize building despite higher financing costs. That was the first American deputy chief economist, Odetta Kushi. All right, so that's to be expected. Home builder confidence is low. Materials are hard to get. Buyers are backing out. They're having to give up more incentives. What are they going to do? Slow down building.
I think, right? I don't know. I think the other ones, the smarter ones, the ones that have been through this before, like we've already stated, I think they're going to push forward and start building again.
I would agree with that. Especially
if we had more affordable housing. They're building that lower third. But here, let's catch up on some YouTube comments real quick, just because Matt had a lot of them. So it's pronounced data, which I agree with him. Yeah, I'm going to get to that one too. Go up just under Jeremy James. It's pronounced data, not data, I guess, but it's not data.
What did I say?
Matt.
Data?
Yeah. Well, you say data, I say data. It is data. You're right. And then I think he went into an Owen Wilson impression. Wow. I think it's pronounced pastrami. I think he went into that whole thing. Then we got to hit.
Matt's very active today.
He's always he keeps our engagement up, and I appreciate him so much for that. But yeah, Christina, you already hit some just wanting that YouTube money. Ron Bruno says they'll take a 4% monthly decrease and then say prices are crashing by almost 50%, which we saw at the very beginning of the Rona. We bring it up all the time. Susie Orman, who is still in business, who is still a financial influencer. She should be out of business based on that one post, in my opinion. She said everything would crash after one, you're going to buy a house for $300,000. Next day, your house is going to be, your neighbor's going to sell for $150,000. You're going to lose 50% of your equity.
So what Ron's talking about there is when someone says a 4% monthly decrease, then they're like, ooh, 4% times 12 is 48%. Home prices are going to be down 50%.
Right.
That's what he's talking about. Yeah, annualized.
And then Christina M. Smallhorn. I always add the M, by the way. I think she got rid of it here on YouTube, or maybe that's Facebook. But she says the top crash channel is easily making $45K a month on YouTube ads. Wow. So that's why I default to, they know that they're wrong. They know it's like all those clickbaity, dumb videos that you see that are obviously staged where the cameraman's like zooming in on them. Like you didn't see the cameraman playing, for your quote unquote prank. Those things get millions and millions of views.
It's like all the scam calls, right? We all get scam calls every day and we're like, ugh, another scam call. Ugh, another scam call. But apparently the number of people that use those make it worth it for them to have these gigantic call centers to do the scam calls.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, and think about like, what are those YouTube channel Troom and 123 whatever, or
I don't
just
know
all the dumb little life hacks. I mean, they are horrible, but they'll get millions and millions of views because they're so dumb. It's like, you spill some ketchup on your chest. It's like, well, just cut a hole in your shirt. Okay, that really
that's a thing.
That's 100% a thing. That I actually saw that in a video. Like, no, just cut it out and then put tape behind it. Now you have a new shirt. What?
Oh wow,
no, dude. So stupid.
Speaking of materials, building materials prices continue to climb in July. So this is another thing that they're dealing with. The price of building materials rose 0.4% in July, not seasonally adjusted, even as softwood lumber prices increased 2.3%, according to the latest producer price index. Prices have surged 35.7% since January of 2020, although 80% of the increase has occurred since January 2021. I thought that was interesting. I've got a good chart. I'm going to show the chart. Here's a chart.
That would have been funny if you clicked off it. Here's a chart. There you go. And click.
Yeah, just real fast. Here's a chart. See the chart? That's a chart. All right, let's go on. Now, this is showing the price inputs of residential construction, how high they've increased. Concrete products, the PPI for ready mix gained 2.5%. Index has climbed 6.8% year to date. Softwood lumber, that is up 28. Prices have fallen 28.2%. That's good. But it's still up 2.3% in July. Gypsum building products, it soared 22.6% over the past year. Steel mill.
Wait, what?
Steel mill.
Okay.
We heard it. I fixed it.
We heard it come through a little bit. Okay.
Fixed it. Okay. I'll edit it in post.
If you were from Utah, you would say still mill.
Still mill, or
it would be backwards. You would say still for steel and meal for mill.
Steel mill.
No, it's not that. It's a Utah thing. You would say still mill.
Still mill, Utah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Although that index is falling 10.1% since reaching its all-time high in December 2021, it's nearly twice the January 2021 level. So it did have a decline in June, but decreased. Let's see, prices decreased 3.7% in June, following a 1.7% decline. That's wrong. One of them is wrong. Typo. Probably decreased 3.7% in July, following a 1.7% decrease in June.
There you go, because it can't both be June.
Right. All right, so that's from the NAHB. Builders are gonna. I mean, this has all been a builder show so far.
Yeah, I think because we're about to move on from new construction. So Zariah has, she said, as we're doing the show right now, she said a builder sales rep just called her. They're building incentives tied to their inventory homes.
Building in incentives?
Yeah, like to already built homes, I'm guessing.
So that means they're homes that are sitting there right now, they're getting incentives for them.
Right. A lot of incentives, closing costs, the work. But if you were to build, not so much.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Elizabeth Rodell said at $12 for an 8-pound bag of potatoes, everything costs more. I mean, I think that's called inflation. We might be, some would say it's a recession, 2 quarters of, is it 2 months or 2 quarters of downward GDP? Anyway, some would say we're in a recession, but I think that's been fixed now.
They fixed it. There's a new bill. It's done.
When news breaks, we fix it.
Yeah. When recession breaks, we fix it. I don't know if we can do that.
Yeah, 2 quarters. Ron Bruno says 2 quarters. So we've had 2 quarters of negative GDP growth.
So half of the year
was the historic definition of a recession that has been recently changed as of 2 weeks ago. Hey, we do have one quick announcement to make.
Oh.
Happy birthday, Dusty.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't it Monday?
I think it was Monday. No, it was belated. I think it was, remember, I said it on Monday. It was belated. I think it was Saturday.
Yeah. Well, happy birthday, Dusty. We saw it was your birthday. There you go. And thanks for being a contributor. Dusty, who's actually appeared on the show. Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, Matt LaMarshmallow. He has one last week. And then we have another one coming up.
Yeah. A lot of birthdays right now.
Huh?
Never
mind. I'm not going to say that.
Oh, oops. Hang on. I hit the wrong button. Let me get this article back up. All right. Let's talk about some mortgage rates. Mortgage rates rocket back above 5%, but market is stabilizing. So this article was published August 11th.
Rocket, like they were at
Rocket.
3.5%, and they rocketed all the way up to they were at like 4.85 and went up.
But they rode the rocket.
They went quick. Top. They just didn't go up very far. Okay.
I think the writers at Realtor Magazine were looking for new adjectives that day. Homebuyers are having difficulty gauging opportunities to save on a property purchase as mortgage rates become more volatile. I would say volatile is the correct characterization.
Yeah.
The average 30-year fixed rate swung above 5% again this week, clocking in. A lot of words related to speed. You're right, Dan.
A lot of verbiage today. A lot of alliterations.
Clocking in at 5.22%. And again, this was August 11th. We've got a slightly updated article that we're going to cover too, but National Association of Realtors reported last week, the housing affordability decreased, driven by a sharp rise in rates and double-digit home price increases. So this is how it affects them. The the average monthly mortgage payment on a typical existing single-family home climbed to $1,841, making it an increase of $444 compared to the first quarter. So the same house that you could get a quarter ago for $1,400 now cost $1,800 a month.
So Ray and all the realtors watching out there, what do you say to people when they say rates just went up and home prices are up? What is now a good time to buy?
Now's a great time to buy. Please don't fire me as your agent. I need money. Is that what you're
No, I didn't.
Say?
Some would say that, but no, that's not what I meant.
Now's always the perfect time to sell because I'm a realtor. And this is who we are.
Ding.
This is who we are. Is now a good time to buy? Yeah. Is now a good time to sell? Yeah.
We should do a quick realtor commercial.
I know, right?
Do you know who we are?
That's who we are. All right. So households spending 24.3% of their income on mortgage payments. That's up from 16.9% a year ago. Wow. First-time home buyers are getting hit the hardest. They typically spend 37% of their income on mortgage payments. So there you go. Rates are up. Now we have this other article that's interesting because it kind of summarizes the week last week. So that was the 11th. This came out August 17th. So here's today's news. Mortgage demand fell last week, even as rates declined slightly. Okay. Mortgage rates fell slightly last week, but not enough to fuel any kind of recovery in consumer demand for home loans. Total mortgage applications fell 2% from the previous week, according to the Mortgage Bankers Association seasonally adjusted index. Applications for mortgage to purchase a home dropped 1%. That's not as bad as I thought.
I mean, statistically, that's flat. I mean, so
they were 18% lower than last year.
Well, yeah. Actually, that's not as much as I thought it would be either. What didn't we have a bigger decrease at some? No. That was refis were like 84%.
Well, oh yeah, that's right. That's right. They were 82% lower than the same week a year ago.
Yeah. That makes total sense.
Quote, this is from Matthew Graham, Chief Operating Officer at Mortgage News Daily. This one report wouldn't be enough to change the narrative, but it's significantly stronger or weaker than expected. Rates would be on the move well before the Fed minutes come out at 2 p.m. Eastern. So this is in response to what's happening at the Fed. Federal Reserve is slated to release minutes from the last meeting. Is it today? Is it already today? Has it been released yet? Anyone know?
We haven't seen it.
Wait. Breaking news. I think it just came out.
All right, we can fix the news right now.
When news breaks, we fix it. Hang on. I have a thing. Breaking news on This Week in Real Estate, hosted by the Bearded Men of Real Estate. we're getting pretty good.
Reuters has pace of future Fed hikes depends on data, no evidence inflation subsiding. That's from 13 minutes ago. That's from the July minutes. That's from 13 minutes ago.
Fed sees interest rate hikes continuing until inflation eases substantially, minutes show. So we're reading the minutes like reading the tea leaves. Federal Reserve officials at their July meeting indicated they would likely not consider pulling back on interest rate hikes until inflation comes down substantially. During the meeting in which the central bank approved a 0.75 percentage point hike, policymakers expressed resolve to bring down inflation that is running well above the Fed's desired 2% level. They didn't provide specific guidance. Quote, with inflation remaining well above the committee's objective, participants judged that moving to a restrictive stance of policy was required to meet the committee's legislative mandate and promote maximum employment and price stability.
And
see,
it does
the two things that we've talked about.
Yeah, it does say the Fed announcement is today at 4:15 Eastern.
Oh, that's 3 my time.
Yeah. Oh, Ray.
Oh. You went black.
Yeah.
Every now and then, Dan's computer resets, or his camera resets. Sorry about that. All right, so I'm going to save. I have to save this article link because we just did breaking news. What do we do breaking news in? Matt LaMarche asked how much to get his name and information on the ticker. I'll DM you.
Yep.
Yeah, you can totally do that. What minutes are we in? There's no. Okay, 1 hour and 11, probably 1 hour and 8 minutes or so that was there. I just found where I can see the tickers, so that's going to make this a lot faster. All right. So yeah, Fed minutes were just released from the meeting. Looks like, although they're saying no specific guidance, it looks like they're going to continue to raise rates as long as that the inflation is there.
But inflation was beaten just like the recession, right?
Yeah, maybe we should maybe we should talk about that now.
It's over.
What?
The recession's over and inflation is done now.
Yeah, recession's over. Biden signs the. Hang on, I'm going to redo that. Biden signs Inflation Reduction Act into law, setting 15% minimum corporate tax rate. After more than a year of debate over cost and taxes and tax credits and regulations, President Joe Biden finally signed a sweeping tax, health, and climate bill into law, albeit significantly reduced version of the $1.75 trillion that he pushed for. The president signed the newly renamed, I love that. The president signed the newly renamed Inflation Reduction Act into law, flanked by all these people that agree with him. Quote, with this law, the American people won and the special interest lost, Biden says. The new law includes $369 billion investment into climate and energy policies. Whoa, hey, I thought he said special interest lost. What?
And then
did I read that right? In the very next sentence?
Read it again.
Interesting.
Wait, let's see.
With this law, the American people won, right?
Yeah.
So we won. So more money to us.
People won.
The people.
Right.
And special interest lost. So the big lobbying groups and all that kind of stuff.
That's what we as Americans want our federal politicians to do. We want to keep those lobbyists and those special interest groups out of our homes, right? So
my taxes can only fund so many programs.
Right. We won. Let's go.
Right. The new law includes $369 billion in climate and energy policy spending, $64 billion to extend the policy under the Affordable Care Act to reduce health insurance costs.
But aren't these special interest groups?
And 15% corporate minimum tax aimed at companies that earn more than $1 billion a year. Well, I can say that one doesn't affect me.
That one does. That's funny though. It
also doesn't affect Open Door, Compass, Zillow.
Right.
Because they're not making any money either.
They don't make any money. But I think it's funny. People are going to be like, man, I made over $1 billion this year for my my corporation. Wow, I got to find some losses somewhere. Oh, only made 999 million. Dang it. Don't have to pay 15% now.
Dog it. All right.
Can we get rid of the federal government? Can we just get rid of it?
You don't sound like you used to when we first started the show. Freshman senator, I'm not going to read all this stuff. Let's be clear. In this historic moment, Democrats sided with the American people is what they say. Okay. Every single one. Congress decided with special interest. Oh.
But
that's funny.
Wait,
okay.
Who controls Congress right now?
So we'll see what happens. More spending on the way. 87,000 IRS agents getting hired. Is that part of this bill or is that a different bill they hired? They signed. I think it's a different bill.
Yeah, I think it is.
87,000 IRS agents, most of which will be on the enforcement side. So get ready, guys. Somebody needs to post the winter is coming meme with the audits are coming.
There you go.
Because they're coming. All right. So speaking of what's to come, let's talk a little bit about some bidding wars. They're still here. What? We just talked about, hang on. We just talked about builder incentives. We just talked about the market declining. We just talked about all this stuff, but you're telling me buyer credits,
price decreases, negotiating prices down.
Yeah. And now you're telling me that there's bidding wars? That's right.
I think they confused it with that show on A&E called Storage
Wars.
Storage Wars.
This is a bidding war. Oh, the bidding war, you just go to bid. You don't actually get a house or anything. It's just a bidding war. This report comes from Inman that comes from a report from Zillow. Bidding wars come to lower priced homes as competition grows fierce.
That comes from us. It all comes from us.
That then comes from us. With demand for homes cooling amid market scared by high mortgage rates, low priced homes are now attracting the most competition. Right, so this makes sense, right? If you could buy a $250,000 house last year and do the rate increase, you're like, maybe I should do a $200,000 house. Now there's more people looking at the bottom of the market. Demand for the lowest priced homes on the market is now attracting more competition than mid-price and luxury homes, a reversal of the pandy market when low mortgage rates allowed home buyers to get more for their dollar. All righty. That report comes to everybody that was from Zillow, released on Tuesday. Monthly mortgage payments are now 60% higher than they were, which is kind of what we just covered. Zillow senior economist Nicole Bachard said in a statement, Bachard, B-A-C-H-A-U-D. Buyers are stretched thin when it comes to affordability, and they are flocking to the lowest price homes on the market to get their foot in the door. Still, the less frenzied market compared to last year will feel like a breath of fresh air for those buyers who haven't been priced out.
So it's still kind of reminiscent of what was happening when things got a little too crowded because of the Rona, or people wanted more space, or they were working from home, or prices were overheated and they started going to those more rural areas. Is that kind of what I'm reading here?
Yeah, it's just a shift. It's a shift in what the buyers are doing.
Yeah.
I think part of it is that a lot of buyers are scared off out of the market because they had cash and conventional offers. And so now buyers with the FHA financing or 100% financing, and I think they're entering back into the market. And by nature, that will lower the average because they're looking at first homes, homes that are more affordable. Quote, it's not yet a buyer's market, but it's becoming a better time to buy with more time to consider options and less of a chance of being dragged into a bidding war. Demand is lighter for homes at the top end of the market, and owners appear to be reluctant to sell and move from a home that will presumably come with a much higher monthly payment at today's mortgage rates. So this is interesting. Let me give you these numbers too first. At the end of July, inventory of the most expensive houses was up 11% month over month and up 19.3% from a year previous. Inventory of houses in the mid-range was up 12.7% monthly, 17.3% annually.
Wait, weren't we 100,000 short on houses in one of the other articles? Wait,
so we talked about this a little bit last week.
What?
Inventory is not necessarily coming from new builds or new listings. Inventory is coming from stale inventory.
Yeah,
which that was our
So the market's going to crash.
Armageddon on the way.
There you go.
While inventory of the lowest price homes was up 11.3% monthly and 10.4% compared to 2021. All right. So interesting. Are you guys seeing a lot of activity in the lower end of the market? Are y'all seeing more competition there?
I live in California. We don't have a lower third of the market.
You guys have amazing comments. There's no way to display all of it. I love all the commenting going on. I appreciate that. There's no way for me to display all of it, but
and they get into their own side conversations.
Yeah, I love it.
So it's pretty rad. Sorry, it's that way is where the comments are for me anyway.
And Dusty and Matt are talking, but they're not talking. So I don't think they can see each other's comments because Dusty's on Facebook and Matt is on YouTube, but it almost seems like they are. But it's fine.
But I don't think yeah.
So Matt's so on YouTube, it just looks like Matt's talking to himself.
not an uncommon theme. At the lower price points, though, as long as we're on the subject, there is still a ton of competition here in Atlanta. 275 to like 350, still getting multiple offers, still getting a ton of showings, multiple bids. Like there's been no slowdown at all at that lower price point. And I say lower, relatively speaking. Our average here in Atlanta is now like 525, I think. So less than average, if you will.
So this follows the trend or does it follow? I wasn't able to follow the first part of that. Are you following the trend that they're talking about or no?
Yeah. So the trend is that the lower price points are still seeing a lot of activity.
That's okay.
Right?
Got it.
Yeah. That we're seeing that.
Dusty Martin said, here only over 1 million, mostly over 3 million markets are a buyer's market. Everything else is either a seller's market or stable. Matt, what's considered luxury in your area?
I mean, it depends on who you ask, but I think by definition, most people in Atlanta have said 750 plus. I think we're kind of getting to that $1 million price point now. Just because of the price increases over like the last 2 years. So 750 2 years ago, I would say $1 million now. But yeah, $1 million to 1.5 is still pretty hot, or seller's market, I should say. Anything over 1.5 to 2.5 is pretty stale right now.
Okay.
Yeah, my market's similar to that, and it's always been 700-800 grand is considered the high of the middle, and then you go over that luxury. But I would do the same thing. Over 900, over $1 million around here. That's where you start getting more land and higher end properties and stuff.
I haven't run the numbers lately, but pre-Pandy, over 500 was in the top 1.5% of purchases in our area. So I'll have to run the numbers again.
And by the way, Scap, if you guys, you come here for real estate content and off the cuff content, but you also can get some golf related content. So Scap, the appraiser, he's apologizing, saying that he would comment more, but he's at the golf course improving his game, unlike Matt. So,
okay, we have some. All right, so we have a couple of more news stories to cover, and I'm gonna tell you what the headlines are, and then we're gonna dive in. First, we're gonna talk about Compass. They're ditching their stonks, so we'll talk about that. We're gonna talk about WeWork and his former failed concept to make WeWork a residential thing, and then the new concept he has called Flow. We're going to talk about the arms race. There are two real estate agents that are fighting over a gesture. Oh wait, I need to hide. There are two real estate agents that are fighting over a gesture and who has the rights to do this gesture. And then we're also going to talk about the Department of Education canceling student loans.
Isn't it the big man himself? Well, the son of the big man himself that gets rights to this. I mean, I'll wait till we get the article, but I mean,
yeah, there's a couple I think that are similar. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about Compass's latest move. Compass ditches stock, financial incentives in recruiting. So in a major pivot, Compass announced Monday, this article is on Inman, by the way. Compass announced Monday that it's ditching some of its signature recruiting perks and that potentially enriched agents and helped brokerage grow. Yes, I think that probably did help them grow some, but I don't think that was primarily where their growth came from. I think primarily their growth came from taking over brokerages and recruiting agents. And
let's remind them what they did. Now, I don't know if this was in all markets, but it was New York, right? The story we covered 3 years ago or so.
Yeah.
They would enter allegedly, let's say allegedly, because we're investigative journalists, but we don't have hard proof.
This is the stories that we covered leading up to this one. So these are not our words.
And this was from multiple different companies where Compass was coming in. And how old are they, by the way? 8 years, 9 years, 10 years, something like that?
I had no clue.
But anyway,
maybe in the article I'll look.
Compass would go in and let's say, a mom and pop shop that does a ton of business and has market share, and they control it. They control 25% of the inventory in that market. They would go in and say, we want to purchase you. And they would say, and part of the purchase is I get to see all your books, right? Okay, cool. We saw all your books. We don't want to purchase you anymore, but thanks. Yeah. And then a month later, they would come back with knowing exactly what these agents make now and the basic averages of their transactions and their commissions and things. And then they would offer a signing bonus to these big teams. And I think that's what helped them grow quickly because they grew like wildfire.
And then people would see the cool kids
in LA, by the way, but
but anyway, and then people would see the cool kids at Compass and say, well, I want to join that because that's where the cool kids are. And the cool kids weren't paying anything for 2 or 3 years, getting 100%, all kinds of different deals and stuff.
And they grew quickly in LA. They have, you see Compass signs all over the place. And a lot of the top agents are with Compass. And I've always said, like outside of this stuff, I've always loved working with Compass agents. Their open houses are legit. They usually have 2 or 3 agents there helping you out and helping your clients out.
Yeah.
They want to cooperate with other brokerages. They are 100% not trying to double end deals. They're very forthcoming with knowledge. Their marketing's great. I've always enjoyed that side of it, but this side of it is what
the corporate side's kind of icky. The agents
kind of icky. Yeah. That's a good way to say it. Yeah.
I love the agents.
Absolutely.
The corporate side of Compass is icky.
Yeah.
But this is one of the most interesting points that I thought. Additionally, new Compass agents will be required to use the standard commission split the brokerage offers for a given market. Standard splits at Compass vary from market to market, and the company told Inman in an email Monday that they are, quote, in line with other luxury brokerages.
So wait, can I clarify? So any non-real estate industry people, what a split is that if I make a check for my commission is $5,000, I have a split with my brokerage, and usually a new agent is 70-30. So I get 70% of that, and then the brokerage keeps 30% of it. That's a split.
Yeah. Compass also doesn't expect the incentive changes to significantly impact recruiting, which that's kind of what we would agree with. I would agree with that. I don't think it's going to significantly impact them on recruiting. But it is
they were doing other things to recruit, right?
Yeah. Look, us changing how we do the splits and the incentives on stocks.
No,
that's not going to really impact us. It's having to stop criminal activity that might. Sorry, it's just allegedly. All of these policies come amid a rapidly shifting housing market. The market's seen a shortage, has seen mortgage rates spike and home sales slow. Refkin was upfront about the shift Monday, saying on an investor call that, quote, never in my time at Compass have we seen such a big downturn in such a short time. That is one of the points that Olivier made too. He was like, well, it's never changed so fast. This is very fast. Still, the changes to the recruiting incentives and commission splits will raise everybody's eyebrows within the industry, which that's why we're covering the topic. Refkin and co-founded Compass just a decade ago, so 10 years. But the company's aggressive recruiting tactics, enabled in part by backing from powerful venture funds, quickly catapulted the brokerage into the top tier of the industry. If you recall, they were getting VC money and then going and basically buying teams.
Yeah,
that was a big part of their launch strategy.
What's VC money, Ray?
Venture capital.
Right. So like what do you call them? Upstart?
Startup.
Startup.
Upstart. An upstart.
An upstart.
Upstart companies.
There's those upstart companies.
With
anyway,
the new, applications on my BlackBerry.
Right. Like a new on my BlackBerry. No, way older than that. On my Razor. But yeah, they get money like a startup, like a tech company, and then be like, dude, you guys can have if you come over to us, you can have $1 million bonus. Okay.
$1 million. Dan, speaking of tech companies, let's talk about WeWork. WeWork is going to WeLive. Actually, so we in the contributor chat, I jokingly said when someone says, "Hey, WeWork has a new thing, but it's for residential," I was like, "Oh, what is it called? WeLive, a community living situation." And do you know what? That was already tried, and it was tried by WeWork. I'm being so dead serious. I couldn't believe it when I said it, and then that's actually what was happening. And so I found a YouTube, and we have to be careful what we show because I don't want to get a takedown notice or anything. So I'm going to try to show just a couple of seconds of this YouTube on there. But they did this back in 2016. Let me see if I can share my screen here.
Before WeWork.
Yeah. Oh, is it? Is that before WeWork?
Well, we were covering WeWork like in 2018, but so maybe it wasn't before, but it's before we were
right.
A show.
All right, let me put the screen up here. All right, so this is on what is this? Inside WeLive's NYC Apartments, CNN Business. I'm not going to play the thing because I don't want to get the takedown notice, but I'll zoom to a couple of things. Apartments in New York City are small. Some of them don't have things like washing machines, dishwashers, and this is the WeWork co-founder McKelvey. Miguel McKelvey.
Yeah.
And they show like what some of the apartments and living rooms and stuff look like. And then they will show you some of the common areas.
Wait.
What
was this? Do you remember that one article we covered a few years ago that was like they bought a floor and then put like 90 apartments on the one floor? Is this that?
I don't think so. I do remember that. That was the house hacking guy that got in trouble.
Was the house hacking. It wasn't these guys. I don't want to confuse the two.
Yeah, it's different.
But look at this.
But look at this common living area, so you can have dinner with your co-live mates.
So it's like a dorm where you have.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a dorm for adults. It's an adult dorm.
It's in a dorm.
It's in a dorm. Isn't that adormable?
So they have it. Go back to that. I don't know if you can find it.
This is like a game room. They have game room areas, and
they have like a pool table right next to 87 washing and drying machines,
which is genius, by the way. I mean, how cool would it be to live in that dorm where they have a pool table down there while you're doing your laundry? You can play some games of pool. That would be sick.
You're trying to hang out with your friends and you just, I mean, come on.
That's right. So anyway, that's the. So that was WeLive back in the day. Well, WeWork is now back in the news with something that is kind of like that, but different. I gotta find I can't find the tab. I'm just gonna reopen it. I'm gonna have so many things open by the end of the show because I can't find it sometimes. I'll just reopen it. All right. So this is from Fast Company. Here's what we know about Flow, Adam Newman's newly flush with cash real estate startup. So the reason why they made it in the news is because they just got a huge $350 million VC from A16Z for a residential real estate startup. This is the A16Z's largest check ever. So they're a big believer in this. Flow is already in the works. They purchased more than 3,000 apartment units in Atlanta, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, and Nashville, according to the Times. And Flow and will offer Flow's branded rental housing experience and services to outside developers. Flow wants to be a housing utopia for remote workers. Adressin mentioned workers moving away from the in-person office experience, with Flow offering a community-style living to accommodate the future workforce. It's unclear whether Flow will have a rent-to-own option. Newman tried residential real estate before and failed. WeLive, a co-living space in New York and Virginia. That's what we just showed you. That didn't work that time.
Remember when we were covering this, we covered WeWork and how cool it was or different it was. And
I thought it was a cool, I mean, I generally like WeWork as a concept.
It was brilliant. But then remember, a lot of the news turned into this dude's antics and the weird stuff he was doing. And Yeah. So it was a lot of the news was about him, not WeWork. And I think that might have been the demise of WeWork, but maybe this time it'll be different, I guess. I mean, he's got a large inflection of cash coming in. So
you know what they say, if you could bet on the jockey or the horse?
Bet on the jockey.
Yeah, you should bet on the jockey. This one makes me look at the jockey and go, I don't know. I would be betting the horse on this one.
What's the horse on this one?
Yeah, you got to take a close look at the horse on this one, because if the horse don't make it, I don't think the jockey's going to make it any better. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, just so I'm going to do a spoof. It may just be audio only, but I'm definitely going to do a spoof commercial for We Live now that it's defunct.
I love it.
Yeah, we've got some ideas. Okay, so Dan, do this for me.
Oh yeah.
Wait, I'm going to put it on you now. Go ahead.
All right, I got to go back. Sure.
Go ahead. Uh-oh. You got quite the wingspan.
Well,
can't get it in there.
By the way,
my question to you.
My height yesterday. This is a total fun site. Now do you guys know how tall I am? Ray knows how tall I am. But do you guys know how tall I am? We're going to get
wingspan is the same as your height, by the way.
Yes, I want you guys to guess down below if you
already know. How tall is Dan?
How tall? I just measured myself yesterday. So
you might be surprised.
How tall am I? You might be a little surprised, or maybe not. But anyway.
So the question, Dan, is who owns this?
JC himself. Or my other argument would be Creed with arms wide open.
With arms wide open.
Right?
Yeah.
Melissa, geez.
That was my first thought. Creed. Okay, so here's the deal.
I told you not to comment if you already know.
That might actually be owned by a real estate agent. That's right.
No
Can
way.
You copyright a gesture? Can you patent pending trademark rights reserve a gesture?
I trademarked this one.
Read between the lines. I've got one for you. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys this picture because it's ridiculous.
Armando says he just got on Clubhouse. He just got a Creed tattoo last weekend.
Perfect. Well, you may be in violation, Armando.
You may owe this dude money.
You might owe this guy some money. So you got to be careful. I'm going to get to the pictures so you guys can see what we're talking about. The gesture that we're doing for audio listeners, that's going to be annoying on the podcast. They're like, what are they doing? The gesture we are making for audio listeners are having your arms wide open. So imagine if someone said, like your kid, how much do you love me? And you said, I love you this much. And you held your arms out as wide as you could. Or if somebody was telling a fish joke and they said, I caught a fish once. It was so big. How big was it? It was this big, right? So all those dumb jokes where your arms are wide open and those gestures.
Or
currently,
what about Soundgarden and their song Jesus Christ Pose? That goes way back to late 80s.
Or the show Jesus Christ Superstar, or
that goes back
plays
forever.
that talk about having your arms wide open. The what's the guy, the drawing of that guy with his arm in different by who was it? Leonardo da Vinci?
Yeah.
That guy.
That guy.
He had his arms wide open too.
What about cacti? Cacti are going to be pissed.
No, they have a corner in the.
Oh yeah, okay. There you go.
All right, so let's take a look at the photo, and you guys tell me if you think that this could be trademarked, patent pending. There it is. Well, arms wide open. There's two billboards right now in play. Golfy and who's the other guy? Lindahl. Now I think Lindahl is a pretty big player. He's been on Inman and stuff like that. But this is the thing. Golfy gets it sold, arms wide open, and then guaranteed offer, arms wide open with Lindahl. Both of them are in a battle over who can do the arms wide open pose.
And sorry, I might have missed this, but they're same area.
Okay, so there is a little more to this story. So let me dive into the actual story. This is brought to us by Inman. It's often said that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. However, famed Twin Cities broker Kris Lindahl's recent lawsuit against a former group coaching client proves it's anything but. So I guess this guy was in his group coaching client and dropped out and then started doing this.
Oh, so he came in, was like, hey, that's a cool thing. I'm going to steal it and I'm out.
I'm going to do that too. Yeah. Lindahl is currently locked in a trademark infringement case against Remax Golf Realty broker owner Rob Golfi, who started using the signature arms outstretched pose in his marketing after attending his branding seminars in May of 2021.
Okay, that
KLRE is one of Minnesota's top real estate brokerages, built on the tireless efforts of opening his arms. Kris Lindahl, his billboards and other advertisements instantly recognized throughout Minnesota, Minnesota, Western Wisconsin, even areas of Colorado. Indeed, today, no Minnesotan can drive through the Twin Cities without seeing KLRE billboard and bus advertisement displaying Mr. Lindahl performing his signature arms outstretched pose. Goes without saying that this pose is an integral part of KLRE's marketing campaign.
These comments are amazing. Dusty Martin, who's over on YouTube now. By the way, Melissa had to go. She had to run. She's going to go see the Red Hot Choppy Poppers tonight, so she had to run to drive north a little bit. But Dusty Martin, who's over on YouTube now, says, is this for real? Are these dudes really for real? Like real for real?
Dusty's letting them have it. Scap says Titanic. Yes, Titanic. Arms wide open.
Yeah, there you go. Titanic has it. And then Christina M. Smallhorn. This seems very stupid to me.
I mean, so it does. I agree, Christina. It kind of is like, why are we fighting over this thing? But this guy, I mean, he wants to brand this. But what's going to be interesting is if he loses. So I'm interested in seeing it because as a creative, we do creative things. How much could I come up with a gesture that only I could do? Well, could I be in all my ads like this, even though that's a known gesture in Asia, and take that as my own?
Can I trademark the beard? Because I've had this longer than any other real estate agent. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah.
I mean, and we've been the bearded men of real estate.
You can trademark the beard logo. We know that.
Yeah.
So a few weeks later, Golfi, so Lindahl's lawyers are saying he began using October 2021 when the Canadian broker posted a Halloween-themed graphic on his company's Facebook page. Graphic's illustration of Golfi as a vampire with his arms wide open. So, okay.
Now, where I would understand it, if Ray and I are both in Central Arkansas and, on one side of the freeway is his billboard like this, and then I'm on the other side going, no, my arms are bigger. I can
same market.
More. Same market, but this is Canada and
yeah. So what's going to be funny? All right. So for those of you who are Tom Ferry aficionados, the guy says rip off and duplicate all the time. This is literally ripping off and duplicating it, using it in your local market.
It's
right?
smart.
It's
if anything.
Well, this guy was a coaching client of Lindahl. So I'm wondering if Lindahl ever said, you guys should rip off and duplicate. If you see something work, you do it. If Lindahl ever said that, then this guy's going to be like, dude, you told me to use it.
Right. But also, if you paid for marketing advice, you paid for what to do, to get myself out there. I paid for your advice, and I'm taking your advice. I'm doing something.
Doing exactly what you said.
Right.
So from there, Golfi began making his pose an integral part of his branding as well, including placements on city buses and billboards, which caught the attention of a passerby who was familiar with Lindahl's marketing.
Wow.
So it's been a while now. There is Kris Lindahl knockoff billboards. That was the thing that I showed you there. In addition to an eerily similar billboard. All right. So this is where it gets a little more. This is probably the line that was crossed. In addition to eerily similar billboard and bus ads, Lindahl said Golfi copied his May 2019 campaign for convenience advertisement video. In addition to his copying the political press conference theme, he also rehearsed Lindahl's speech in the video nearly word for word. So I can't play the video. I'm going to show you what the video looks like. Again, we don't want any takedown notices or, God forbid, copyright infringement notices. But this is what the video looks like. This is the realtor doing a fake campaign speech at a podium surrounded by the American flag. And I'm going for it. Where does he do it? Oh, there it is.
Boom.
Here, we'll see it. Oh, in action. Here it is in action. Let's watch him do it. Are you something? Are you with me? He says as he opens his arm wide. Okay, so this is the script from both of these.
Wow.
Many thanks. We need real estate by people and by people and for people. We need real estate by people, and for people. 48 hours or less guaranteed, 48 hours or less guaranteed. Not because it's easy, but because it's difficult, but because it's difficult. I mean, it's basically the same
Pretty
thing.
much the same. Yeah.
They should have made it like have you ever seen a Greek translation of the Bible where it's like, whoosh, it's interlinear? They should have made it interlinear, showing you line by line.
Yeah.
But then there's their thing there. Basically the same thing. So
it's got the ticker and everything. Yeah.
So now how do you feel, Christina, if he rips off the video word for word and the entire advertising campaign? Now how does that make you feel?
She said it above. She said people rip her off all the time and she helps them do it.
Word for word?
Well, I don't know that part.
She said, I think they would have to prove that it costs him business when he copied his advertising. I think, it may have to prove some kind of damage. I don't know. I'm not an attorney.
I mean, you know what I always love? Like, you know, rock and roll's been around forever, or just pop music in general, whatever, been around a long time. I always love when the band that's been around forever, like let's say someone comes out with a song that's really eerily similar of an AC/DC song. Those guys are like, dude, that's awesome. I mean, no, it's a rock song. It's literally the same chords that we use, but I mean, everyone else has been using that. So technically everyone's ripping off the Beatles from 1964. I love when they're just like, no, it's flattering. It's a great song. And hey, maybe they'll open a show for us at some point. Like, it's weird to be the guy that's like, hey, this really, really works for me. And I've made a lot of money off of it. No one else can do it, even though they're freaking 2,500 miles away. Like,
Christina Smallhorn says, always the person copying does a much worse job. That's true. There's a lot of people that have copied the videos and stuff. Hey,
well, at the
there
bottom,
there are copycat podcasts of us out there right now.
They can't be you. That's the bottom line.
That's right. They're not nearly as good looking. Matt LaMarche, speaking of
100%.
good looking, said, if this holds up, every dancing and lip syncing realtor on TikTok is out of business tomorrow.
Yeah. So all those realtors that are stealing my idea with the cards that I did, that realtors are dumb, they're all out of business. I'm coming after all y'all.
However, so this is interesting. Golfi made the advertisements despite Mr. Golfi executing a written agreement prohibiting him and his representatives from using the proprietary concepts and materials and intellectual property presented at the seminar without authorization, the suit read. So apparently he went to a seminar, right? Well, I'm just going to summarize it a little bit. Golfi was like, I didn't go to that seminar. And it's like, here's your signed signature saying that you wouldn't use our stuff and you came to the seminar. And Golfi's people were like, well, that signature looks a little suspect. That's where we are at this now. Vitruvian Man by Leonardo da Vinci. That's what it is.
So have you guys ever...
LeBron James, his poster of his arms
outstretched. He does that. He does the chalk thing and he throws it up and does that. Dude.
And he's holding a... Yeah.
And LeBron did that way before Lindahl did.
Christina said it's hard for a lot of people to be original.
Yeah,
I mean, so I don't like the hand motion. Honestly, the advertising is like, meh, you probably think of a better idea, but he's known for it. But I'm interested. The most interesting part about this for me is not the motion, is not the spat between the two people and how he was a former coaching client, went to the seminar and he agreed at the seminar not to take some of the stuff, but apparently he didn't go to the seminar and that's not his signature. So the most interesting part of this for me is not that. The most interesting part of this for me is, can you copyright a pose?
Right. That's the overlying thing. Can you even copyright it? Is this even an argument that should be being had?
Can you make a pose part of your trade dress? And if so, what does that lead? Where does that lead us? Like, I'm thinking, like, what can I do?
Right.
Wait, do your, hang on, Dan, do yours. Let's go full screen. Go ahead. Do yours, Dan.
We'll do my headshot, which is literally.
Yeah. Well, that's mine. No. I did that. That's mine.
Oh, so I stole it from you. Okay. Yeah. So whenever you do a thumbs up, like my headshot from 6 years ago.
Yeah. Let's do. All right. You do the thumbs up. All right, that's Dan's trade dress, y'all. Let's make it official. Okay, that's good.
Okay, got it.
We're putting this out there so that you guys know this is what we do. All right, now I'm going to do mine. You ready?
Yeah, okay, cool.
That's mine.
Yeah. And
no one else can do that like me.
Right.
I can do it on the spot at any moment. We're going to incorporate it in all my ads.
Yeah. Having a horrible day. God, today sucks. I mean,
Christina M. Smallhorn said, I want the middle finger. It's a copywritten
that's
post.
where I went. Yeah. Read between the lines.
A pose is not copyrightable subject matter. An original work of authorship fixing such pose in a tangible medium of expression might be insufficiently creative.
He 100% copy and pasted that from somewhere.
Well, so, all right. So let's go with that. So a pose is not copyrightable, but an original work of authorship fixing such pose in a tangible medium, such as a billboard or a bus ad or a video, right? Those are tangible mediums, and you're fixing a subject in that pose.
And I mean, I'm switching sides here, but and in that one video, he literally copy and pasted his entire speech word for word, pretty much. I mean, but like, why? Okay, so let's say a pose is copyrightable. Okay, yes. Now we've answered Ray's first question. Why though?
Why? Well, I mean, it looks fun.
All
right,
I guess it looks fun. If I'm just going to start stealing all of Ray's stuff and do it here in Southern California. I mean,
we're in the same shirt. Might as well.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean,
Olivier is Golfy in your area of Canada. Olivier is joining us again. Is Golfy in that area? What's up, Ollie? Armando?
Repeat that question.
Golfy, the real estate agent. He's in Canada. Is he in your area?
Nope, never heard of him. And Canada is bigger than the States. So
yeah, you act like it's a big country or something.
So it's not working for him, is what you're saying.
Nope, not from here.
He can't see him through all the maple trees.
I think that
I can't see it from my igloo.
From your igloo. Dennis Murphy has a comment on the article on Inman. It's great. It says, is there a specific degree that the arms need to be held at?
Right. Like
I think that's important because at what point are your arms not by your side, but are not up or down?
What if this is my default? What if I'm the default NPC, non-playable character in a game, and this is my default pose? You know, that's pose. Oh, wait a second. Dude, video games. This goes back to the late 90s, early 2000s for NPCs, non-playable characters. I used to make video games, by the way. When they go into a default, we called it the T pose. So when they didn't know what to do or how to interact in a situation, when the script wasn't there, the pathing wasn't there for them, they would go into a default T pose. So are video game developers going to go back? Oh, no. In 2002, in Fantastic Four, I was already doing the T pose thing. So, okay.
I think it has to be along with trade dress. Doesn't it?
I mean,
I think that's the thing. Like, it can't just be. And by the way, if you Google T pose, it's all. I'm looking for the T pose meme that's set to that song. The it has people running around with the T pose. It's hilarious. Anyway, I think so. If someone was doing a T pose in the context of real estate, that's I think where you'd get Lindahl to come after you.
Okay, I'm going to try it. I'm going to do it.
I would say as part of trade dress, it looks like, yeah, maybe it is copywrittenable. As just doing the pose, no. But doing the pose on signs and billboards as related to real estate?
Around videos and scripts and things like that, sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is that he didn't just copy one thing.
But then what's that other angle? I paid you to be part of your class. You told me to, what is it, rip off and...
If he said rip off and duplicate ideas that you see, and then the guy did, then...
I just happened to steal yours, coach. Thank you.
But anyone who is like, who loves their stuff like that probably did not say rip off and duplicate.
Right. If he's suing, he probably didn't say it because that would be a major faux pas.
Speaking of canceling, it's our last story of the day. Biden, because this has been in the news a lot lately, canceling student loans. Biden canceled $4 billion student loans. What? So Biden administration cancels $4 billion in student debt for 208,000 borrowers. Now, this is for a specific college. The reason why we're bringing this up is because some of the lenders, I saw a post by a couple of lenders saying, hey, if Biden is canceling your student loan debt, you may now qualify for a home. I'm like, canceling student loan debt? Is that really happening? So I Googled this. And that's where I found this. It's for a very specific case. It's people that were defrauded by the ITT Technical Institute. You remember those old ads?
Yeah.
Apparently they said stuff in the ads that weren't quite right.
I believe we covered this or somewhere. This is in my brain some reason where they defrauded people.
Yeah. It happened. Let's see.
Wait, can someone do the math? What is the number, Ray? How many billions?
4 billion.
4 billion. Dude, what is the quick math on that?
Divided by 208,000?
50 grand each?
1, 2, 3.
Roughly?
1, 2, 3.
I'm ballparking it.
I don't know.
Who has a calculator? They can do it real quick. My phone died.
That's 4 million. 4 billion divided by 208,000.
Yeah, so I think it's 50 grand each.
You can use your browser. I think it's 20 grand.
20 grand, 19
20
grand.
grand. Yeah. You can use your browser for a calculator. For those of you who don't know, you just go up to the URL and put the math problem.
They're giving roughly 20 grand each per borrower.
So basically the evidence shows that for years, ITT's leaders intentionally misled students about the quality of their programs in order to profit off federal student loan programs with no regard for the hardship this would cause. Biden-Harris administration continue to stand up for borrowers. I don't mind this. So basically, ITT said, hey, this is what we do. Turns out that's not what they do. They weren't, I don't know the specifics.
Accredited or whatever, right?
Yeah, there's something missing from what they said, their jobs and credits transfers and things like that.
Were the commercials prevalent? Were the commercials prevalent in your area like they were for me here in Southern California?
Yeah,
like,
they were all the time.
ITT Technical Institute. The commercials were literally.
I was showing a guy welding.
Yeah, always.
So I love trade schools, by the way. I think trade schools are the way of the future. But if the government gave money to the kids to go to the school for a specific reason, and that school they didn't get benefit of that reason that the government gave them the money to go to the school, then they should cancel those loan debts because the government's giving them something that is worthless. But what if that starts to happen to other colleges?
Well, that's the
what if that happens in normal education?
I think there's a way to do it, but just canceling all the debt is a little bit egregious.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see what happens in the future. I don't, for the record, I don't think everyone's student loan should be canceled. Mine wasn't canceled. So I think it's probably good for people to work that kind of stuff off and, pay debts that you took out. And also, if you cancel all the debts, how high will college tuition go? I mean, there's no limit to what they could charge if all the debts are going to be canceled. Just taxpayers paying it.
It's also like, okay, how much I took out a $30,000 loan, but I'm going to pay it back over 30 years, and it's going to end up costing me $260,000. Okay, so did they get their 30 grand back? Okay, then what are they using all the extra money for? All that interest for? That's where the question is for me.
90 days, same as cash. Ali, you popped up here. You got something to say about ITTT? Did you go there?
Yeah, so actually, the Biden administration so far canceled about $17 billion, according to Forbes, in student loans, and ITT was the smallest portion.
That was the smallest portion. That was the only one that I saw on the reports from CNBC and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, no. So supposedly there's about $6.8 billion dollars that was public service loan forgiveness. There was a lot of for-profit colleges that had promised employment after the fact, or promised that their degree would carry a certain benefit, and they didn't. So all that's okay. That ended up with a degree that's worthless now.
Okay,
I'm totally so. For the record, number one, the government probably shouldn't have given money to those things, right?
Right.
But number two, if the government gave money to those things to the kids to go to these colleges, and the colleges didn't pay up, yes, cancel the loan debt. But I would also say go after those colleges and get paid back. Is there any news on that, Ollie?
Yeah.
They're all banked. So the money that's been forgiven is for the defunct colleges that ended up going out of business and leaving their students with paper that was worthless in their diplomas.
Yeah.
Gosh, well, that's wasting 2 years to go through something, and they're like, no, you're gonna get a job at the end of this, and then they're like, oh yeah, my bad, and we're bankrupt now. Yeah. Oof.
Yep. I had friends that went through it. That's why I was familiar with it from a while back. They were trying to cancel it for a while, And so far, the only ones that have been canceled, other than ITT, are permanently disabled students and also people whose diplomas are now worthless.
Are defunct. Well, I think that's good. Hey, good start. I think it's probably where they should stop.
Yeah.
College fraud's a kid.
Yeah.
Give the kid, get him out of that debt because now his stuff's worthless.
Yeah.
But
there needs to be actual reform on how much college costs in general.
Yeah.
So like you said, you can't just forgive the debt today and then leave the cost of college going up as it's been going over the last 10 years.
Colleges are like, cool, yeah, sure, cancel it all. We're totally fine with that. It's $8 million to go to this school now. Cool.
Yeah. Now I don't want to get too political, but it seems like college is the only thing that can go down in value and up in price. But that's just
by the way, Malarsh has said it a bunch of times on this today's episode. This is not a political post. Not
a political post.
No.
Not doing political.
What? By the way, Matt, I mean, underwater basket weaving. You have a degree in that, dude. Start putting that stuff online, man. You're gonna make money right away.
That's what TikTok's for, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to hit the TikToks hard with it.
Got it. That's what I've been missing. Thank you.
That's how to make money as an influencer, underwater basket weaving influencer.
I think there's a market for that. I really do.
Well, thanks everybody for joining us today. Dan, would you tell people where they can find you?
They can find me eating lunch because I'm starving.
I'm so hungry.
I can only imagine Ray's starving because the show starts at a weird time for him. It's lunchtime for him. It's late breakfast for me. But go right down here to D. Ludwig Rocks. There goes my camera. And I'm not resetting it. You know what? No, I'm not doing it. The show's over. I'm not doing it. D. Ludwig Rocks, DLUDWIGROCKS on Instagram. Go follow me on Instagram. And if you want to just send me money because you love me so much, go to Cash App. Same, D. Ludwig Rocks. There you go. Thank you.
There you go. And I'm Ray Zorback. That's RAYZORBACK. Find me on Instagram. Send me a message there. No show next week. It is Tom Ferry week. So I will be at the summit. Dan won't be at the summit, so no show. But then the next week, we'll be celebrating show number 200. So we'd love for all of you to come out to that show. It'll be a great one. And thank you so much for joining us this week.
I am 6'3.5", by the way.
6'3.5". So those of you who won, we'll put you in a drawing. By the way, we do have that drawing coming up for the people that guessed the 75 basis points. So we'll be in touch with it. Probably during the 200 show, we should do some drawings.
Sure. We'll forget about it, but let's try to remember.
That's right. That's right. Well, thank you guys for joining us. Thanks in Clubhouse. Please be sure to go up to the top, follow the Real Estate Networking Club. If you're listening to the replay, follow it there too so that you're notified of other great rooms like this. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the Facebook channel, turn on the bell, hit that notification, and we will see you guys next week. Thanks. Bye.
I'm going to get sued. Bye.